1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, let's see here what we're doing. Let's see. Okay. What we're doing is trying out the live streaming on YouTube, which isn't quite as easy as one would think to do. Okay, so what we've been doing every week. Okay, I'm going to close down this. I'm going to minimize this page. Okay, minimize that. Okay, what we've been doing every week on Sunday morning at 11:30 is do a little live broadcast, but we're using a kind of simple method of what they call Hangouts on Air. So when you go to your Creator Studio and set up for a live broadcast that obviously is live and also streamed on your YouTube channel, and then it's also saved if you want it. I think the default is it saves it on YouTube so that people can look at it later. So you go to your Creator Studio and set up your title and all that stuff. And then there's a little button you have to press for the type of broadcast you want. You can choose either from the Hangout on Air, which I think they call the quick method, or the custom method, which is a little bit more tedious, if not confusing. And there you have to set up all your different criteria for your broadcast method. For example, I'm using the Adobe Media Encoder, Flash Media Encoder, which you have to start first, by the way. It's not always clear that you first open up your Media Encoder and get it going by starting it with the little green button. After you've set up all your different settings which you have to do too. Then you start it. Then you go to your YouTube Creator Studio page, and again, it's confusing because you can set up the custom broadcasting where you put all your settings and information in there, or at the top they have a quick method where you push the button and it just automatically starts, which is what I'm using now. But the problem is it doesn't seem to transfer those settings that you might have set up in your custom, like the description of your broadcast and the title, and you also set up the starting time if you don't want to start it immediately, and ending time, and you can do everything in advance. So the quick method is quick, but you can't transfer the settings easily. So I resorted to using the Hangout on Air method, which is pretty easy. And one of the advantages also is that you can invite somebody to be on the broadcast with you, so up to 10 people. So in my case, I have one other person join the broadcast every Sunday morning. And then it's just like your standard Hangout on Air that's always been, where whoever's talking shows up on the video. And so it makes it convenient for that type of broadcast. Now, the one I'm doing now, you can't do that. You can't have another person broadcasting. But the advantage of this method that I'm using is with a slow internet connection, which I am using at the moment. It buffers things so that when you end, your YouTube video turns out to be good quality. When I'm using the Hangout on Air method, sometimes the audio surprisingly gets a little distorted, which is weird because at one time I thought YouTube or Hangouts on Air would have a preference for the audio to make sure it's good and degrade the video. But it seems to be the opposite now. The video is okay, but the audio gets degraded, so you get some distortion from time to time. But at least the last time I tried this method, the custom, well, I'm not sure even what they call it, because it's not really the custom method, but it is using a separate media encoder to do this. So I'm not sure how you differentiate, because basically 3 different ways you can do these live broadcasts. Anyway, so I'm just going through how since last month you can no longer go Hangouts on Air to start your broadcast. You have to go to your Creator Studio on YouTube and then choose your live method, either the Hangout on Air method or the custom or the third one, which is the quick method up at the top of the page where you just press the button after you've started your media encoder and then it automatically starts. Okay, now, it's been a while since I did this, but I can't exactly remember. I'm trying to find out how you stop the recording or stop the broadcast. Again, YouTube doesn't make it very easy to figure these out. Because on your Hangout on Air, there's just a stop broadcast or hang up button. But on this live one, I am not sure, and I don't remember how I literally stop. Okay, now I remember. It's coming back to me. To stop the live broadcast, you have to go to your media encoder and push stop, and that's how it stops. You would think that there'd be something on the YouTube Creator Studio to stop your recording. And we see we have one viewer watching. And then even on this, it is not clear how to use the chat section where you look at the chat. I think you have to go to another page You have to go to your actual YouTube page and watch the chat there, as I recall. But again, it is not really easy to do for most people that don't do this all the time. If you don't do this all the time, it's rather tedious and confusing to figure out how to use this. And I don't know that I even want to dare to try to find the chat thing, because I'll certainly mess something up in the process. Well, anyway, so this is just a summary of since last month. If you want to do a Hangout on Air or a live broadcast on Google or Hangouts on Air, YouTube, you can't go to Hangouts on Air anymore. You have to go to your YouTube channel, go to your Creator Studio, and the live streaming section. And you can either set up an event, which is for the future, where you put in all the information, or you can stream now, and they call it beta, which I believe is what I'm doing now. Or on the events section, you can choose the custom setting, where you set up your media encoder, start the media encoder, and then it allows you to begin. Although I haven't been, as far as I know, I have not been successful in doing that custom one, and I'm not quite sure. Mostly I think I'm doing something wrong on that custom setup, but I don't think I've ever successfully been able to do that one. I've been able to do the Hangouts on Air, which I do every Sunday morning at 11:30, and I've been able to do this Stream Now beta, which is the one I'm doing now. So anyway, that's the summary of how to use your Creator Studio for live streaming on YouTube and for an event or for a Stream Now simplified method of broadcasting. So I will now go to my media encoder and I will push the stop button, and theoretically that will stop this recording. And as I recall, since I'm on a slow internet connection, it takes a little bit of time, or quite a bit of time, for YouTube to manipulate the video so it turns out good quality. So it's just taking a little bit by little bit of my slow connection, and then putting it together apparently, and then half an hour later it'll show up on my YouTube channel as the latest recording. And at least the last time I tried it a month ago, it turned out to be good quality. So anyway, that's the story on how to do your YouTube Hangout on Air on the Creator Studio Live on your YouTube channel. See you later from LaBelle, Florida.